Is this building the future of garage games? I hope so. Let's take a look. Ayo, it is week 23 of the weekly video logs for Garage Games. It is Thursday today. I got a lot of stuff to do today. So if you're new, please consider subscribing to me on YouTube or following me on Facebook. I do weekly video logs documenting everything I'm doing in my journey to open up a retro video game store in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely give me a follow or a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. So today I have quite a bit to do as far as games go. I got all of these games, and then I also have the box of cartridge-based games that I got the other day. So a lot of stuff to do, but somebody is coming out here in a little bit to sell me some games. I know one of the games is going to be Pokemon Leaf Green, so I'm excited to get that. But I do have plans later today with my girlfriend, so hopefully I can get a lot of this stuff done because I do have to work all weekend. But let's get started. And here's everything that I got. This Pokemon Ultra Sun was just the case and manual, but I have a loose copy of Ultra Sun, so I'll be able to pair them and then save a complete copy of Ultra Sun for my store. That's gonna be awesome. Also got Leaf Green, not in perfect condition, but it's still really decent, and the entire label is there. It's authentic. Definitely something that's gonna go into the save bin. I'm honestly probably gonna play through this too, because I had Fire Red and I had Leaf Green complete in box before I bought my house, but those were two things that sold really quick. So I've been itching to play Leaf Green again. So I'm happy to get that. But again, yeah, I'm going to play through it, put it in the save bin, and then sell it eventually. And Ocarina of Time 3D, and then some solid loose titles. All right, so I didn't add a whole lot to my pile of games that I got to get done, but let's get back to it. Friday tonight, I got off of work, ate some dinner, and now it's time to price some video games before I go to bed. I got, probably 50 or so games here that I have to get through, but that's okay. Like usual, I'm not up for doing a whole lot of stuff after work. I kind of just want to sit down and decompress and stuff like that, but what I'm doing tonight is super simple. It won't take me very long, so let me show you. Just want to give you guys kind of a quick idea of what I consider my personal, I guess, quality control when it comes to cases and games. So if a game has a hole like that, or some tearing like so, or a bunch of holes, or even like this PlayStation 4 case, a big old crack in it, if I have enough replacement cases to be picky, every single time I will replace cases like that. I'd feel really bad about selling a game to somebody and they look at it and it's this, because I certainly wouldn't want it. I'd probably still buy it, like whatever, but I would rather pick it up and have it just be a nice condition, clean looking case. I do have exceptions for some things, like obviously if I don't have any replacement cases for a particular console, I won't be able to replace it. Something like this yesterday. On that note, all three of these Caesar Palaces were completely broken cases, and I only had 3 dual CD cases left, so I have to find some more at some point. But this one, if I can open up just the front, it's got a hole right here in it, and as much as I want to replace it, I was going to, but then I realized that it's got this PlayStation logo on it, so I could replace it, with like another one of these with a spindle in it, but it won't have the PlayStation logo on it, and it's only a $5 game, so I thought it's better to just leave it like it is. So yeah, like I said, I'm not incredibly picky with everything. Some things, I take into consideration, but for the most part, yeah, I do not want to sell games like this at all. All right, let's get this stuff done so I can go to bed. It is Monday today, and it's my day off of work. So it's time to get these NES and SNES games cleaned tested, and priced. So I got 3 small stacks here. Just gonna go through right now and clean the pins on each one and test them to make sure they're working, and then I go through and then I clean the shells. So let's get this stuff done today so that I can put it on my Facebook page. All right, we got everything cleaned, priced out, good to go. These are the games that I will be holding on to. Super Mario 2. I don't get it very often, but I have a couple of the Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3. I just want to have all 3 of them for sure on a day one, because I might not get this one again. But there we go. This may be the last thing that I do today, other than posting all of this to my Facebook. So I will be back at some stuff tomorrow. It's Tuesday, it is my day off, and today is a very exciting day because I'm going to look at a retail space that I might possibly be interested in. So the guy who owns the building, he's also buying some stuff for me too. So let me show you. So the owner is going to buy my NES bundle kit, which includes the system, hookups, 2 controllers, a zapper, Super Mario Bros, as well as Duck Hunt, and he's also picking up Ninja Gaiden on the NES. Fun fact, one of the first games I ever played was Ninja Gaiden, and it was really difficult, especially for a 3-year-old, but I enjoyed it. Ninjas were the shit back in the 90s. If you were alive back then, you already know that. And then he has an employee who's going to buy a PlayStation 2 from me, so nothing but good signs. He's optimistic about it, which is making me optimistic about it. So, yeah, we're going to go check out the spaces and see if anything works. So I know I've been saying things like, I'm not quite ready. My goal is the end of the fall. But the spaces that we're going to look at, I wasn't expecting them to be available until around that time. But if you didn't know, if you're a local person, maybe you do. Jacobson's Meats bought the old family fair in Lake Wissota, and they're turning it into like a local mini mall or a local shopping center. And when I heard about that, immediately thought, oh, that'd be an awesome place to start, because it's going to be nothing but local businesses. It's going to be cheap, affordable rent, and it's just all locally owned, which is amazing. But I found out that he has 2 spaces available right away. I don't know if the building is quite ready to be open. I think maybe summertime it'll be ready to be open, but regardless, I'm going to go take a look at it. And another thing probably nobody knows about, maybe 2 people I told about, there's another reseller in Eau Claire, and I met him at Collectors Con last year. We had booths next to each other, and you know, we clicked. I think he's a great guy. I'd say we become friends, but we've been talking since then about combining our passions, taking my video games, taking his Pokemon cards, vintage clothing, vintage toys, and just having one big store. And obviously, I think that is an awesome idea, because that is something that I want to work towards. But if we combine together and we do a partnership, we can have that right away. So looking forward to it. I'm going to show you what both spaces look like. I'll talk about them a little bit too, but let's go. Let's do this. I'm excited. Is this building the future of garage games? I hope so. Let's take a look. So this room is actually the second space that we had checked out. It's not necessarily available. He has somebody else who's interested in it, but they have till Friday to make a decision. But ultimately, I don't think we would want this space. We would tear down these 2 walls that you're looking at right now so that we can get full range of the entire space. We wouldn't have like a work area, a workstation. I'd have to bring everything home, or I could rent out a small unit within the building where I could do all of my game cleaning and all the testing and all that other stuff. But a little more expensive for this one. We're going to have to do a little more work with tearing down the walls. But the first space that we looked at was far more desirable. This is the first location we looked at. It is 290 square feet. That bench will get taken out. The drawers will also be taken out. They're going to add a wall right next to the stairs right there, as well as in the front. Obviously, they haven't gotten to that yet. And then across the room, they're going to put a wall up right there too. So it'll be squared. It also has this really high ceiling as soon as you would enter the room right here. We were asked if we would want to put a ceiling across the whole thing, and we thought it would be better to have that completely open so that when you walk in, you're not feeling immediately cramped. Again, 290 square feet. We're going to have to really figure out something with both of these spaces as far as how much stuff we can comfortably put into either one of them. I am back from checking out those retail spaces, feeling very optimistic about either one of them, but I feel like the smaller one is going to be the best option. So the second spot that I showed you in this video, the one with like the really high ceiling entrance, me and Matt talked extensively and we feel like that's just the better way to go. It's going to save us on like remodeling costs. It's also a great spot where it's right next to the entrance of the mall, and the rent is incredibly cheap. My half of rent with all the extra bills and stuff is going to be about $300 a month, and that's incredibly doable for me. You know, I think I won't have any kind of issue with that. Still, you know, on the fence about how much money I'm going to make, because you know I got to take into account mortgage, car payment, and all the other bills that come with, you know, living. But you know, I understand that I'm not going to become rich or become a millionaire by slinging video games, but it's going to make my mental health so much better that it's going to just improve my life completely. Last 20 years I've been doing shitty jobs that make me miserable, affects me outside of the work. So like my personal life, I wake up in the morning and I'm just dreading having to go to work. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this feeling, but when I think about me waking up at 5 in the morning to go to work at my game store or get ready for the day at my game store, just it's an incredibly positive feeling that knowing that I'd be able to just go to my own game store and, you know, do something that I actually enjoy doing. So couple things about that spot I suppose I could talk about are, one, it's small. I think it's just under 300 square feet, so it's really small. That's probably how much square footage I have in my garage when I'm doing my game sales, but I have to take into account Matt's going to be adding Pokemon cards and some toys along with it. So, you know, we're going to have to get in there and really hash out how to make it feel not so cramped and for people to be able to hang out comfortably in there. But with it being so small, obviously this isn't going to be my dream store, because like I said, I want to do more. I even want to add an arcade into it. I want people to come in when they're bored and just, even if they want to play some arcade games for free, that's completely okay. In the mall, there's going to be some other kind of businesses. I don't know all of them for sure, but I do know there's a 24/7 gym, an Italian restaurant, and I think I heard something about a tanning spot. And there's obviously going to be more that I'm not either remembering or don't know about, but I feel like it's a great combination of things. So like, I think about the Italian restaurant is really busy one night and they have a line of people waiting. You just walk 100 feet down the hall and you could come to Garage Games and look around and buy some games or hang out and talk. You know, I think it's a great idea. And the lease that we're signing will be for 5 years, which is a little intimidating. Honestly, I was kind of hoping or expecting a year-to-year lease. So that had me a little worried, but realizing or talking to the guy who owns the building, if we wanted to, say like the first 2 years, we outgrow that space. We realize, okay, well, we can afford a little bigger space, or we have so much more stuff now that we need a bigger space. We will be able to move within that mall to a bigger space without having to break our lease. So like, we wouldn't have to move out of the mall, break our lease, and go to like downtown Chippewa or Lake Hallie just to get a bigger space. We'll be able to get a bigger space in the same location. And I think it's a great location. It's right on that little busy strip in Lake Wissota. And the guy who owns it, Jacobson, Joel, he's an awesome guy. I got along with him pretty well. I thought he was pretty cool. And I feel like he's going to treat all the residents of the mall pretty well. And he gave me positive vibes just all around. So yeah, I am home now. I gotta work on an NES and a PS2 because I just sold them, so I gotta clean them, test them, all the good stuff. So let's go ahead and do the NES first. Started on the NES. The pins are really loose, so I'm gonna have to boil them. It works, but it doesn't work great. It still has graphical glitches, and when you stick a game in, you can just tell that it is probably just a little bit too loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and boil this thing out. Hopefully that will fix the issue. She's in there boiling, doing its work. So the hot boiling water is going to get all the grime and built up, residue off of these pins. So I'll boil it for 12 minutes. I was told 12 minutes is the sweet spot. And it's worked before, but it also has not worked before. So we gotta hope that it works this time. So while that is boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a general clean, blowout. I'm gonna clean the pin connectors right here. I'm gonna take some Brasso, I'm gonna scrub it real good and just clean them up the best I can while I have the pin connector off. So let's do that real quick, and by the time I'm done doing all that, the pins should be ready to go back in. It is all done being boiled. You want to make sure that it is completely dry. If you ever do this, you want to make sure it's completely dry before putting it back on the motherboard for obvious reasons. So now that it is dry and boiled out, I'm going to take this little tool right here, and I'm going to go to each one of these pins on the top and just ever so gently lift them all up just a little bit. You can't lift them too far, you can't bend them too much, or you might break them. So using a small little tool, and I'm going to go through every one of these and just kind of lift it up a little bit. I'll do my best to keep it under the camera, but I might move it closer to my face at points. But let's do it. All right, I don't know how well you can tell through my camera, but they look a lot better to me. So I'm gonna take a game and just kind of shove it in here several times and work the pins into their place so that it fits good, and test how well I actually did this by like the strength and resistance. So you can see it's got a lot more resistance. The pins are way tighter in here, so I'm feeling confident this is good to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and hook it all back up together, and let's test it, make sure I actually fixed it. All right, minimal reassembly for testing to make sure it works. Fingers crossed. Hell yeah. Let's just go ahead and do a little more extensive test. See if it works like that. Hell yeah. All right, now I'm gonna take it out, if I can do it with one hand. Oh yeah, those pins are nice and tight. I'm happy with that. All right, so take it out, put it back in, put it back in. Good to go. Well, I got Tetris loaded up here, I might as well play it a little bit. Ah! Obviously, I'm not impressing anybody with my Tetris skills, but I love this game. It's so simple, and it gradually gets more difficult, but made it to level 5. Not too bad. Next time I'll get higher. She is good to go, looking awesome. Pins are working great. That was a lot of fun. I love replacing the pins in these things because it's simple enough for me to be able to do it, because I can't do like super technical repairs, as a lot of you know, but stuff like a pin adjustment and cleaning, hell yeah, a lot of fun, and makes me feel good to get this console looking beautiful, cleaned, and the pins are good to go, so whoever buys it will be very happy. That is going to be the last thing I do tonight. I gotta work tomorrow, unfortunately. I was going to get to the PS2, but I'm kind of itching to play some Pokemon Soul Silver, so I'm going to do that for a couple hours before I fall asleep, and we'll have to see if I'm up for anything after work. It's Wednesday tonight, and it is the last night to record anything for this video log. I'm not going to do a lot of recording, if any, besides this, because I don't want a repeat of last week's, where it was almost a 40-minute video. So tonight I'm going to clean a Model 1 PlayStation 2. It is the last one I have. I do have 2 Slims, but I only have one DualShock 2 controller, and it's not a black one. It's a translucent emerald one. Don't really want to do it, but again, it's the only DualShock 2 controller I have, and I don't have any PlayStation 2s that are ready to go. So might have to bump up the price just a little bit to compensate for this, uncommon controller. Hopefully I can get some more standard black ones in, so I can, have it as a normal price. And then I got some CDs. I've got Incubus Make Yourself. It's got the Whale song on here. It's a great album. We also got Escape the Fates, Dying is Your Latest Fashion. One of the only Escape the Fate albums that I actually listened to. When Ronnie left, I think they got a little bit better, to be honest. But never really gave them that hard of a chance. I just kind of stopped listening to them. But this is an amazing album. Then we got Brazil, A Hostage and the Meaning of Life. Kind of like, I'd say emo, but also very experimental alternative rock. Very cool and unique sound. And He Is Legend, I Am Hollywood. Little Tony Baloney was obsessed with this album. This was one that I had, one that got stolen, and immediately bought this as soon as I could when I put everything into Discogs and was thinking about the CDs that I need to get back. I remember making a custom shirt with a printer from home with this album cover right here. And then I gave it away to a friend because he was also obsessed with it, and he asked if he could have it. And I'm a sucker, and I said, yeah, of course you can have it. I wish I still had it, though. But great album, post-hardcore band, super old school. Their newer albums aren't as good as this, in my opinion, obviously, but one of the best albums I've ever listened to. So before I call that a video, if you made it this far, obviously you have some kind of interest in what I'm doing. So I just kind of want to ask, how do you feel about the location that I'm going to go with? Just want your opinions, constructive criticism, any kind of feedback, because it's important, because Garage Games isn't Garage Games without you guys, and especially if you're watching to the end of my vlogs, I know you care a little bit, so leave a comment or anything. Let's have a conversation about it. I want your opinion. I want to hear it. So, all right, I will be back at everything tomorrow, if I have anything to do, honestly, and I will see you guys next week. Love ya.